So as we dig into Diddy's living soul numbers, as I said before, we know he has a conjunction at the four. He operates, in this strong lover energy, which is a great thing, which explains, the creativity he has, the artistry that he exudes, the charisma that he showcases, and so forth. That's all connected to his four. And so, but looking at all the resistance that's going on in his life right now, and we know that resistance is being highly influenced from the number three, which he's going through this ego evaluation and his heart inspection this year. So um, it's just his time to go through that. We all have to visit that. So what's interesting is there's a lot of uh, blind forces, I like to say, that's circling around Diddy's living soul archetypes to kind of give us some hints to what is bringing this onslaught of um, perceived negativity that's coming at him. We know it's connected to past deeds and past treatments. Okay. And so the first thing I want to bring back again is when we mention the conjunction of four, that's amplified energy. Okay. Um, what's obvious, we know there's obvious a conflict between him and Cassie. Now, what's interesting is that Cassie's living soul number is also a four. Okay. And so when you combine Diddy and Cassie together, it gives us a lot of hint that when they were together, there was over the top um, behaviors that was shown on the sexual side. A lot of hedonistic type of things, a lot of over sensual and pleasure indulgence. They're both were guilty in this. And so this shows up in their numbers. Okay, so their combination was very highly charged. They very had a very highly charged, very sexual, very sensual, and very just explorative, um, risky type of behaviors that they shared with each other. That's just simply what the numbers kind of show. So you got to be careful that we make sure we don't just isolate Diddy and Cassie. Let's look at the center of their attraction and the connection of their attraction, the center of their attraction, according to their numbers in Living Soul, shows it's a high chance that they really had this level of overindulgent and this knowingness of engaging in risky behaviors that can draw undue attention to them. So it was kind of like that, man, like, man, we're gonna risk it all, that type of mentality. So they brought a lot of this adventure to each other that we see encircling around um, their their living soul numbers and the effects of what it generates. Okay, so then also on the other end, there's a lot of charisma. So if people can remember way back when they were together, there was just a lot of draw to them. There's a lot of flair. Well, that's the strength of that four, really showing. It's that there's a level of charm. Cassie has a magnetic charm. Diddy has a magnetic charm, and so it makes sense why at one time they occupied each other's space and there was a shared resonance, because that resonance there was really a lot centered around the four, not even counting the other different archetypes that's really at play. So just to understand the basis of Diddy's and Cassie's connection and what it generate, there was a lot of overindulgence. It was highly charged with certain, just highly gratifying, very pleasure oriented. It's important for us to understand that. So there was things that stem from that. Then of course, when we start tapping into the shadows of this, we start to see there might have been some invasive touch, there might have been some boundary violations. But looking at the numbers, it showed there's a willingness of some questionable um, things we might, view as questionable, over, indulging into. So there's of course we no one knows, but we could see that the numbers point that these behaviors and this energy was definitely present among them. And so it was acted upon. It makes sense why some of the controversy that we see is being generated and being sparked right now. Okay.